Welcome. Scott here. Today I am bringing another general video guide for Black Clover Mobile. Generally, there are a lot of questions about the gears that I have equipped on my mages. So I have decided to make this video for it. First of all, let me give some pointers that you need to be aware of. As we are getting random rare drops from the gear dungeon, it will take a long time to get the gear pieces you need. You should probably spend almost 50% of your daily stamina on grinding the gear. If you want to know on how to grind gear efficiently, I suggest you to check out the advanced gear guide that can be found on my channel. Generally, there are a total of 17 gear set, 10 basic gear sets and 7 advanced gear sets. Advanced gear sets are only available as rare drops from stage 10 onwards. Ideally, you will want to grind your gear at the highest difficulty stage or stage 15 of the gear dungeon. Different gear dungeons give different gear set. Generally, a gear set consists of 4 pieces. There are 2 attack pieces, 1 large attack and 1 small attack. Please do take note that these gear can have main stat base as either as attack or magic attack. The other 2 pieces consist of the defense piece and HP piece. Every gear set has a set bonus. You can get the set bonus when you equip any 2 pieces of the gear set. You will get the 4 set bonus when you equip the entire set. On a side note, the set doesn't need to be same gear grade for the set bonus to take effect. For example, you can equip a UR gear small attack piece and having a large LR attack piece to have the set bonus. The maximum amount of gear pieces that a mage can equip consist of the following combinations. You can equip 4 large pieces, the pieces can be either attack or defense, or 3 small attack pieces. You can equip a full set along with small attack piece and a large attack or defense piece. You can equip 6 large HP piece. Lastly, you can 6 large defense piece. A lot of players will usually ask this question, which is better? Equipping a full set or having 3 2-set bonus effect? In my opinion, the more gear pieces you can load on the mage usually gives better results. The main reason for this argument is that the more gear pieces that you have on your mage, the more substats you can have on your mage. Likewise, there are certain gears where the benefits of equipping a full 4 set outweighs the benefit of equipping 2 gear pieces. On the screen, you can see the list of basic gear sets found in the game. I did not include following 2 gear sets, the Underwater Temple and Cave Exploration set, since their uses are pretty limited. You can get the following 3 gear sets: Viaduct Merging Gear through Vanessa in the Hideout, Ancient Hunter set, which boost your mage accuracy set. Accuracy affects the activation rate of the damage reduction. Sweet Vacation set, which boost your mage critical damage resistance. Scorching Sky set, which boost your mage HP stats. You can get the following 2 gear sets: Viaduct Farming at the Red Oregon Power Dungeon, Ancient Mage's Relic, which boost your mage attack and damage. The Traveler's Essential set, which gives your mage speed boost upon getting afflicted with a status ailment. You can get the following 2 gear sets: Viaduct Farming at the Blue Oregon Technique Dungeon, Magical Beast's Nightmare set, which affect your mage's critical rate based on the mage's current HP. Sprouting Mystic Tree set, which affects your mage's defense stat. You can get the following 2 gear sets: Viaduct Farming at the Green Oregon Sense Dungeon, Chilling Breath set, which boost your mage's special skill critical damage. Dilettante's Joy set, which boost your mage penetration stat. Penetration allows your mage damage to ignore a certain portion of the target's defense when damage is dealt, but the amount ignored can be reduced by the target's endurance stat. The last gear set can be obtained as Squad War rewards or purchase from the Arena shop is the Pitch Black gear set, which allows you restore HP upon killing a target. Generally, I won't recommend you invest much into these gear sets for enchantment or use gear substats changing stones if you are free to play. You will be better off using those rare upgrade materials on the advanced gear, which I will be explaining them in the later slides. Advanced gear sets give a significant combat effectiveness compared to these gear sets. You might be wondering why most content creators ask people to focus on starting a blue mono team. This is because the team will have an easier time to farm gear at the red or power dungeon. Also, the game's best advanced gear set can be obtained via the specific dungeon. There is a small chance of you getting these gear sets via merge gear option through Vanessa in the hideout. The 3 gear sets are the Secret of Deep Sea set, the Great Merchant's Collection and the Ominous gear. Higher speed stats means your mages will get their turn faster. There is always a first turn advantage in the game. This is why the Secret of the Deep Sea set is the game's most sought after gear set. At 2 set piece, you will get 5% increased speed buff for 2 turns at the start of the wave. Equipping a full set will give a flat +5 speed stats bonus to the mage. The speed set pieces are important for your attackers and supporters, especially in the arena. The advanced second gear set that you can find in this dungeon is the Great Merchant set. The Great Merchant is the game's best defense set. Defense sets are important for your defender and healer mages. You won't want these mages to get killed easily. Having 2 pieces of the set will boost the mage's defense by 30%. Equipping a full set will give the mage a 40% increased defense buff and 8% fortify buff. Fortify reduces the damage taken. The last gear set is the Ominous gear set. Equipping it to the gear set gives a percentage boost to your mage's key attack stats, attack or magic. Equipping a full set will boost the mage damage dealt by 15%. Now let me cover on the advanced gear sets that you can obtain from Blue or Technique Dungeon. You can get the Noble's Inheritance set, which will boost your mage critical stats and critical damage. Other than having high attack or magic stats, critical rate and critical damage is the bread and butter for your attacker mages. Critical damage will determine the maximum damage that your mage could do, while critical rate will determine where your mage is able to deal critical damage. Try to target on getting high critical rate and critical damage stats if you are using these gear for your attacker mage. Equipping 2 pieces of the set will boost your mage critical rate by 5%, while having a full set will give an additional boost of 10% to the mage's critical rate. The other gear set is the Ice Mansion's Remain set, which is the game's best set that boosts the mage's HP. HP is important for defender and healer mages. Even the healer mage's capabilities don't scale off their HP, it is still beneficial to boost the mage's HP pool. Having a higher HP pool will translate to have a higher survivability for your mage. Equipping a 2 piece of the set will boost your mage's max HP by 7%. Equipping a full set will give the mage a 10% max HP recovery at the start of each turn. Now let me cover on the advanced gear sets that you can obtain from Green or Sense Dungeon. In this dungeon, you will find gear sets that boost your mage's critical damage and penetration stats. The Resolute Judge is a great gear set for nuker mages such as Clover Academy Asta, Clover Academy Jack, Kyoto, or Rhea. Equip a 2-piece set of this gear will boost the mage's critical damage by 7%. Equipping a full set will further boost the critical damage by 15%. The other gear is the Nature's Wonders, which boost your mage penetration stats. Penetration will result your mage to ignores a certain portion of the target's defense when dealing damage. The amount ignored can be reduced by the target's endurance stat. Equipping 2 pieces of the set will boost your mage's penetration stat by 7. Equipping a full set will boost your mage defense penetration by 15%. Defense penetration. Defense penetration will result the mage to ignores a certain portion of the target's defense when damage is dealt, and is not affected by the target's endurance stat. A character's defense penetration stat cannot be increased and is temporarily activated by skills and passive skills during battle. At the moment, we haven't faced any PvE events that have the bosses resist critical damage. This gear might come handy sometime in the future. With the gear sets and their set bonuses explained, let me proceed on gear set recommendations for your mages. Let's start off with the gear set for your supporter or certain debuffer mages. Personally, I usually call this set the full speed with 2 defense piece set. This is my go-to gear set that I usually go for my supporter and debuffer mages. The flat +5 speed boost is really too good to ignore for speed supporters. Pair these gear set with a craved speed stone on your mage's support talent wheel. You should get your turn first before your opposition get their turns. This gear set is important for mages whose kit relies on speed. Finral, Valtos, Williams and Clover Academy Charlotte are notable mages that relies on this. You can also give this gear set to Charlotte for her to set up her marked debuff from her skill 2, which will allow your attacker mages to spam their turns whenever they killed a target. Speed is also important as it could affect the turn order of your mages. For example, you will want your debuffers to place their debuffs on the enemies first before having your attacker mages run amok. The other two gear piece is the small attack piece and defense piece from the Great Merchant set. This will make your supporter or debuffer mage the least likelihood of getting one-shotted by your opponent in PvP or enemies in PvE. If you don't have these gear set, you can use the following gear set as a poor man's substitute for this. Actually, the Traveler Merchant set won't be that effective if your mage don't get affected by a status ailment. So it is preferable to use the Secret of Deep Sea set if you have it. Now this is the defensive version of the gear that you could use for your debuffer mages. Generally, you want your debuffer to last as long as possible at the sacrifice of some speed. Party Costume Noel and Golden Dawn has annoying mechanics and has high base speed stats by default. So you might want to have prioritized to give them more defense over speed. Party Costume Noel has taunt utility on her skill 2. If you use that skill lock on an attacker and her damage reduction debuffs falls off, she could get killed accidentally. This gear set arrangement could be useful for defensive setup in arena. If you don't have the full gear set for the Great Merchant set, you can make use of 4 large pieces and 3 small attack pieces combination that uses 3 of the following gear set that I have shown on the screen. The Great Merchant set gives your mage 30% defense boost for 2 set bonus. The Secret of Deep Sea set gives your mage a speed plus 5% buff at the start of the wave for 2 set bonus. Ominous gear set boost your mage's attack and magic attack by 7% for 2 set bonus. The Ice Mansion Remain set boost your mage max HP by 7%. The Sprouting Mysterious set boost your mage defense stats by 250. And lastly the Scorching Sky set boost your mage HP by 2000. Once you gotten the gear set that you want for your mage, you can then focus on getting substats that boost your mage's defense, defense percent, critical resistance or damage resistance stats. Now let me cover the general gear set you should target for your attacker mages. Attacker mages are easily to build. The higher their attack stats is, the more damage they will do with their skills. In Black Clover Mobile, mages have their damage scales off either their attack or magic attack stats. Mages like Julius, Licht, and Swimsuit Noel have their damage scales off their magic attack stat, while attackers such as Clover Academy Asta, Yami, or Kyoto have their damage scales of their attack stats. Magic attack is useless for Asta as he has no magic. Generally, the gear pieces used are 3 small attack pieces and 4 large attack pieces. Ideally, you will go for 3 2-set bonuses synergy with a large attack piece for the 7-piece in the set. With this setup, you can easily ramp up your core attack stats to above 20k when all gear pieces are LR plus 12. The type of gear sets will affect other bonuses that could affect your mage's damage. As a rule of thumb, most attackers should equip with gear that raise their critical rate and critical damage. Higher critical rate and critical damage will make your mages do more damage per turn. The faster you kill off your enemies or opponents, the higher the chances you winning the battle. For nuker mages, I will swap out the Ominous gear set for the Resolute Judge set to boost the nuker's critical damage. You can still use the Omnious gear for nuking if your gear has high critical rate and damage boosted via enhancing the gear substats. Once you got the substats you want for your gear, start enchanting away. Please be mindful that enchantment stones and gear substat changing are limited upgrade material resources. Do start enchanting only when you got bulk of the ideal substats. Ideal substats that you should target for most attackers are attack percent, magic attack percent, critical rate percent and critical damage percent. Normal enchantment stones can be obtained as rare drops in City District Dungeon or daily limited challenge dungeons. If you don't have the 2-set bonus of the advanced gear set, you can temporarily use other attack pieces from other gear sets until you have gotten them. Now let me cover the HP gear set for your healer mages or mages that have mechanics that scales off their HP. There are mages whose potency scales off their own HP. For the start, you can do the lazy setup of using 6 HP pieces or use the HP set's gear to boost the mage's HP. If you are doing the HP set, I will recommend to use the 2-piece of Great Merchant set for the additional 30% defense boost. The longer your healer mage survive, it will improve the chance of your party survivability. Currently, there are 2 mages that have mechanics focused primarily on having higher HP. They are Swimsuit Charmy and Kohano. The upcoming seasonal unit, Ceremony Charlotte, has mechanics that scales off her HP. The HP gear set, Ice Mansion's remains, can be farmed from the Blue Dungeon or you can obtain via merge gear with Vanessa for the budget version, Scorching Sky gear set. Now let's focus on gear sets for your defender mages. A trait for defender mages is that they are able to taunt their targets. Taunt will result their target to unable to use non-attacking skills and cause the target to focus on them and unable target other members of your party unless the attack has an area effect. For a start, you can load 6 defense pieces on your defender mage. By doing this you can easily get 16k to 20k defense stats for your mage. Give your mage defense talents will help to boost the defense stats even more. Also, by deploying this, you can have your attack pieces load on your attackers early on. If you want to use your defender mages for arena, I would recommend you give a defense and attack hybrid set. 4 large defense piece and 3 small attack piece will do the trick. This will allows the defender mage to contribute some offense for your arena battles. Of course, you want the Great Merchant 2-set bonus among the sets you using for that juicy 30% defense boost. Lastly, I will show you the gear that I am using for my Black Asta since there are a lot of requests on this. Black Asta is a hybrid attacking defender mage. His principal role is a defender mage. When his anti-magic activates, his defense stats will boost his damage significantly. So boosting his defense stats is a priority. For the gear 2-set bonus that I have used are small attack piece and defense piece from the ominous gear set to boost his attack. Small attack piece and defense piece from the Great Merchant set for that juicy 30% defense boost. Small attack piece and defense piece from the Secret of Deep Sea set for the speed boost to allow him to get a turn to use his skill 2 for his crucial 175% defense boost buff. For the last piece, you can slot in any large defense piece. Even if you have the gear pieces that I have mentioned along with max talent wheel, Black Asta will probably have 56k to 60k battle power. To bring his battle power higher, you need to enchant his substats. Do only start your enchantment after you have rolled the ideal substats you want on your gear. To do this, you need substat changing stones. Substats changing stone can be obtained as limited rewards via completing bingo boards or doing squad war rewards. You can buy them with premium black crystals, but to do that, you need to spend real world money. The substats that you want to target for Black Asta is defense percent, critical damage percent, critical rate percent and critical resistance percent. When you equip accessory for Black Asta, focus on accessories that boost defense. To get accessory, you can get it via design accessory via Vanessa by using 10 SSR gear pieces for a 5% chance of UR accessory. You can commit 10 LR gear pieces for 5% chance of LR accessory or 95% chance of UR accessory. You can also get one-time reward by completing the endgame Hall of Illusions stage 80 onwards. You can also buy accessory chests from the guild shop with guild raid coins that you have earned by attacking the squad boss. Critical rate and damage is important for Black Asta as you want to kill off the enemy as soon as possible before your Black Asta dies. Since in order to activate his anti-magic, his HP need to drop to below 40%. I have come to the end of the video guide. Hopefully, the video helps you to understand the rationale on the gear sets that you should use for your mages. If you like the video, please give a like. Please support the channel by subscribing for more future Black Clover mobile content from the channel. Have a nice day. Goodbye.